Thanks for clicking on this video. This is what I carried with me every day when I was traveling around Japan for about 2 weeks just recently. And I'll start off with the bags. So the first bag I used was the Uniqlo Crescent bag, I think is what it's called. I liked having like my passport and my charger and just things that I needed to reach faster on a shoulder bag. But I knew I couldn't fit, all of this in here securely and not damage or like scratch anything, especially my cameras. So in conjunction with this bag, I also got this backpack. It's a 10-liter backpack. I thought it was a really great size for hiking and the day trips that I was doing. In here, I would keep things like my cameras and just things I wasn't reaching for as frequently, but still needed to protect and have on me. I have these containers from Daiso that I bought a long time ago to store my pens and stuff at home. And I have 2 of these, so I actually fit them in the bag kind of like this. And it was a really great way to store like my camera in here, and it was very secure and safe. So I really liked that. I thought it'd be kind of weird carrying 2 bags around, but it actually worked very well for my situation and my circumstances. So if you are kind of having trouble deciding between a backpack or a shoulder bag, maybe just do both. So in my Uniqlo bag, like I said, I carried my passport. So this is like a passport cover. I like that it, protects my passport, but it's also got a compartment to carry like documents and stuff that you might need to protect, as well as like tickets. Like I put like my Shinkansen tickets in here just to make sure they were safe. So that's that. And then I also carried, my charger around, very important. This one is pretty bulky. It's kind of heavy, but it has a lot of ports and it's got all of the cords that I would need. So it's got like a micro USB, a USB-C, and then a bunch of USBs. So really, like, I carry this with me every day, even at home. So it just felt right to carry it in Japan. So after, my charger, obviously I need my charger cord, my phone cube, and I have some wired headphones just because I feel like they fit my ear better than like the ear pods or like AirPods or whatever. It was very nice to have these and just listen to music, on the train and stuff like that. So after that, this is my handkerchief that I carried with me because a lot of places in Japan, a lot of bathrooms don't have hand towels or even like, hand dryer sometimes. So this was just good to carry around to, wipe my hands or wipe sweat or something like that because you get really sweaty walking around. This is Whisper of the Heart themed and I love it. So the next thing I carried with me on the daily was my passport journal. This one, I made it myself, so if you want a video going over how I did that, I would be happy to do so. Just let me know. But inside here is my watercolor sketchbook, my stamp book that I use to collect stamps because Japan has a lot of stamps. And this is like a little folder to carry miscellaneous tickets and stickers. And then this is a lined notebook that I use to write what we did every day. It was very nice to have a written record. You just remember things better if you write it down compared to just, posting about it on Instagram or something. So I liked having a written record with me. And then this last insert is like my sketchbook. So this is one of the things I sketched when I was in Japan. And yeah, I really liked carrying my tiny notebook around. I debated if I should bring my bigger one, but it just didn't make sense because I'm already carrying so much stuff. So having this be so small and compact was very helpful. And yeah, I really enjoyed carrying this one around. And speaking of journal supplies, this is my portable watercolor kit. So the lid pops off like that. And this, you can put water in here, for your brushes. And then this is how it opens. And obviously, like, this isn't like a travel necessity at all, of course. But for me, like, the purpose of this trip was really to take things slow and sit with things and be more creative. So that's why I brought my watercolor kit with me. And I ended up using this once. And in my mind, if I used it at least once, that was a success. And then this is my pencil pouch. This was a pouch my friend got me, very cute. Some ink got on here, which I'm kind of annoyed about, but it's fine. So in here, I have like the markers that I use to color, some brush pens, some other pens, and then these are like scissors, which I love. And so that's in this pouch. And then in here are my travel watercolor brushes. Very nice. And yeah, I didn't carry too much with me because again, this is already a lot, but it fits in here. It's very nice. And those are all the journaling supplies that I brought with me. And on to other stuff, you know, I brought hand sanitizer, very important, especially since we use so much public transportation. And then this was my wallet. I put my Pasmo card in here, which is where my ID usually goes, but it was nice to have my Pasmo in the front for easy subway tapping. You get a lot of coins in Japan, so a coin purse is very needed. So you can either have like a separate coin purse, or you know, you have a wallet that has a coin, has a place for your coins. Very convenient. And then following that, I carried with me 2 reusable bags. So this one is a pretty big size. My little sister got this for me in Korea, and I use this even at home, so it felt fine to, you know, bring this with me. And then this one I got in Japan. I think I got this within the first few days that I was there. And I really like this one, besides the fact that it's the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. I like that it opens to like a boxy structure, so it kind of sits flat, which is what I really wanted, because a lot of the bags I have don't have that kind of structure, and it's kind of annoying to use sometimes depending on what I'm carrying. So I really liked this one. And then following that are my gadgets. So I got this camera very recently. This is the Fujifilm X-M5. I like how small it is. It doesn't have a viewfinder, so if that is something that would bother you, I wouldn't recommend this one, but I didn't mind it too much, honestly. And this is the TT Artisan 27mm lens. It's pretty wide, so that really suited what I was shooting, because I wasn't doing a lot of like portraits or anything like that. I was just capturing, you know, the environment, the things around me, the nature that we were walking through. This is my first Fujifilm camera, and I really like it. I like how easy it is to use and how it feels like film, like the photos feel like film photos, but without, you know, the process of shooting and developing it, which isn't bad, obviously, because here is my film camera. This is my 35mm point and shoot. I love shooting film, but it is getting pricey these days, so it just felt right to buy a more cost-effective option in the Fujifilm. But I did shoot with this fairly frequently when it made sense to, and I still do plan on using it. Traveling with film is kind of stressful sometimes too, because you always have to ask TSA or security to do like a hand check, and yeah, sometimes it can be kind of stressful, but I do think the photos are very worth it. But that is my film camera, and I brought 3 rolls with me, so I finished this one, and then there's one currently in here that's not finished yet. And then I always bring this one with me, and I never use it. So one day I will actually use it on a trip. And then here are some SD cards for this camera. I didn't really need them because I didn't even fill up one card, I think. I was just shooting a lot of photos. If I was shooting more video, I think I would have filled it up a lot faster. I was mainly shooting it on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is actually my little sister's. She let me borrow it for this trip, which was very nice of her. I used this mostly when we were hiking or just kind of walking in nature or taking in like scenery and stuff like that. And the gimbal works very well. It's very stable, and I like how small it is. I did have it in like I carried it around in a bigger case, but it still wasn't very much bigger than what it is right now. So really, really great camera, and very much perfect for what I needed. And yeah, that's everything I carried with me every day while I was traveling around Japan. It might be overkill, it might be too little depending on who you are, but it worked really well for me, and I was able to fulfill everything I wanted to on this trip by carrying everything that I did around. And if you're into Japan content, I will be editing all the footage and the photos I took on the trip into vlogs, so those will be coming out over these next few months depending on how fast I can edit them. And I'll also be posting a haul video of everything I bought. So I bought a lot of stationery, I bought a lot of kitchen stuff. If you're interested in that, feel free, to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.